Hi, I'm Rebecca Balcárcel with Writers on Writing. Let's talk to Adrianna Cuevas, who's an author and educator. Hi, Adriana. Happy to have you. Um, would you talk to us a little bit about audience when you write? So, because you're a professional author, you have, of course, your audience of kids who read your books, but then you write other stuff like proposals about a new project, or you write emails and copy, like answering interview questions about your book on for blogs. So could you talk a little bit about, like, how are those different kinds of writing? Do you change how you word stuff, or yeah.
I definitely do. And I think what I loved what you brought up is like the difference between a book proposal and how I'm going to word that and then actually writing the book, because the audience for those two things is totally different. For my book proposal, I'm writing that for publishing professionals. They have their own kind of lingo that they are looking for in this proposal, almost like linguistic markers of, this is what we want. We want to see, is there a problem that this character has? What's the character arc going to be? The conflict. And so I have to write with those people in mind. They are wanting me to write something that sounds like a story that's going to sell, because publishing is a business. I can be as creative an individual as I want, but in the end, unfortunately, in my opinion, it's a business and they're looking at the bottom line. So my proposal has to sound like something that is going to engage a wide variety of readers and move books. And so I am typically wording my proposal to make the plot of my story as attractive and engaging as possible. And like I said, having all those markers that they're looking for what makes a good story. But let's say they say, yes, this is a great proposal, go ahead and write it, yay. I have to change gears now, because now my audience is totally different. It's not these adults that are,
Mhm.
going to give me the check mark of yes, proceed. It is now essentially fourth to sixth graders, and they have a whole different mindset of what they are looking for in a good story. And so for me, I've found that I still have to have, just because this is how I write, that big conflict. I have to have a
Mhm.
fast moving plot. But because I am writing for kids now, I am making sure that I'm putting in a lot of humor. There's a lot of dialogue in my stories because I feel like that makes it an easier read for kids. There's a lot of action in the story because I'm very adamant about always making sure I have fast paced stories. So I have to take it out of this realm of basically a business proposal and now create a prose piece, a lengthy prose piece that is going to maintain my reader's interest. That's the key. In my proposal, I only had, those are usually like 2 or 3 paragraphs. So it's very easy to maintain your reader's interest with something that's catchy and snappy. To then have to do that in a 280-page book where I am wanting to keep my reader's interest is a whole nother beast. I will say, and I've noticed readers have noticed this tends to be a characteristic of my stories. I tend to end my chapters on cliffhangers. I
Mm.
want to make sure that you are dying to read the next chapter. And so I think that's how I ensure that with this longer writing piece, I am maintaining your interest. So yeah, there's a lot of different styles of writing that authors have to be comfortable doing, like you said, between a book proposal, an actual book, just sending emails. Sometimes I have to remember, like, hey, you're not writing to a fourth grader anymore. You have to sound like an adult. So yeah, there's a lot of shifts linguistically in terms of, the register that you're using. And I have to read over my stuff a lot because sometimes I forget that.
That is super helpful.